Is a degree an insurance policy for your success in life? The answer to that, my response, as well as is school really worth it? My take and my beliefs on school, all today on Young Money Investments. So you guys, I have been getting obviously a lot of messages on Instagram. I get messages on the daily from people that have questions about specific stocks, about specific styles of trading, about how to get into investing, questions about the course, and I love it. I think one of the cool things about social media, and at least for me in starting Young Money Investments about a year ago, is my ability to influence and help those of you that are maybe on the same path as me, but you're just a little bit earlier on in the process. And I think what is nice is that I have this ability in this platform to share my thoughts and my insights with you. By no means am I perfect, and by no means have I always chosen the right way. I think, in fact, contrary to that, I've made a lot of mistakes, and I think the reason that I am able to potentially help a lot of you out there is because you can learn from my mistakes. I can counsel and I can coach, and I can go, hey, this is where I made my mistake. Don't make that same mistake. And so I wanted to read a little message that I got from a follower here on Instagram, and kind of share, his thoughts, his philosophies, where he's at in life. And I think a lot of you can relate to where he's at. And I'm going to give my take on this. So I got a message from this gentleman, and he says, hey Cameron, I love the Instagram content. I'm so-and-so's cousin, and I briefly spoke to you on FaceTime a few weeks ago. I can't help but relate to you in a lot of different ways. I've been attending BYU for 2 years as a construction management major, and have found that college isn't really an environment that I find myself thriving in. I do summer sales with Aptiv and have loved the experience thus far and plan on continuing in the industry for years to come. My question to you is, how did you go about making the decision to drop out? Like many others, I've been indoctrinated into the philosophy that a college degree is absolutely essential, so it's been a real mental battle. I've also been considering potentially changing my major to something such as financial economics or accounting, but I thought I'd consult someone like you who's been in the exact same position and appears to be wildly successful. So first off, I want to say I'm not wildly successful. And second thing, don't sell for Aptiv, sell for ADT. Hit me up if you want to actually sell. But in all seriousness, I loved getting this message. I think this was a really great message to get, and a great thing to talk about here on the channel. Obviously, a lot of you that are interested in investing in the stock market are interested in the stock market because you either A, don't believe in going the traditional route, or B, you are wanting a secondary stream of income, or maybe a third or fourth or fifth stream of income, and you are already an entrepreneur. I think investing is huge and important for everyone, whether you're a 9-to-5er, you do the daily grind, or whether you are indeed like myself, an entrepreneur. My path was very interesting. I took three and a half years of going to college, going to school, probably even 4 actually. I was slow in some aspects and, took a semester off here or there. And, honestly and truly, it took me a while to finally realize, hey, I did not want to go the medical route. I always wanted to be a surgeon. That was kind of the big goal for me, was go to school, be a surgeon, and then I could invest on the side and turn that $450,000, $500,000 salary annually into just a massive amount of wealth, and invest long term. That was a great plan, and it really probably would have worked out great. The thing that I finally realized, though, is I had such a great talent at selling in the summers and being able to make 60, 70, 80, 100, 120,000 in a summer, that it didn't make a lot of sense for me. I was able to, as an entrepreneur, do that and then turn that into more money in the stock market. And so it didn't make sense to continue to go to medical school when, at the end of the day, I love the idea that I can choose my own hours. Yes, I'm working right now at 9:30 at night filming this video. And did I spend all of my Saturday filming and doing videos for a stock market course? Sure. While a lot of people maybe were out having fun on a Saturday, sure. That is the trade-off that I make as an entrepreneur. But I think for me, the time frame, getting back to the question of how I decided that being an entrepreneur was what I wanted to do, was I just realized that the financial weight of what I was doing would someday surpass what I would do as a doctor, right? I knew there was a certain figure in my head, and for everyone this figure is going to be different. I knew I had to make X amount of dollars annually in order to survive, and then there was X amount of dollars that I wanted to make in order to be happy. Money is not happiness, as I've always said. Money is definitely not the happiness, but I do believe that with more money comes more opportunity, more ability to help others. There's more influence, there's more power. There's so many different things that you can do with financial freedom and with money. And when I finally did the math and really started getting down to it and realized I love selling in the summer, I love helping new guys come onto the team and be able to make a lot of money as well without a college education. And on top of that, I loved being able to trade, and I loved being able to teach trading. It just kind of fit hand in hand for me. And there's so many other careers. You can become an Amazon FBA seller. You can, I mean, literally, like, I could go through it in my previous video if you check it out. I did that video on different income streams that you can make without having a college education. And so for me, I finally reached the point where I just grew tired of the crap with school. I got tired of going to school and learning from a professor that either A, didn't really have a lot of real life world experience, or learning a subject that had nothing to do with the career path that I wanted to go into. The latter was probably more of my problem with going into medicine. Was I was taking all these classes that I hated. I hated chemistry. I hated some of the calculus that I had to take. Does it affect me being a great doctor? No, but those were weeding classes they had you take so that they could weed out the students that were diligent and wanting to go to medical school. But for me, I always felt that I was smart enough. I felt like I was smart enough and didn't need to be weeded out of anything. And I realized at the end of the day, I think the big turning point for me was I could go to school, I could spend 80 hours a week, being in medical school, 90 hours even, and then become a doctor and probably still spend at least 60 hours a week in the hospital, in the OR, doing all those things. All for what? For probably about the same amount of money that I could make as an entrepreneur. And I thought the sky's the limit as an entrepreneur. I think I have enough faith in myself that I can make millions. And so I think you have to have that faith in yourself if you're wanting to drop out of school. A degree is not a bad thing. And I think for a lot of people, going to school and getting a college education is not a bad thing to do. I think I learned a lot from my time at BYU Idaho. I also learned a lot of good lessons. And I think I had to learn a lot of things the negative way, and learning that, people aren't always the greatest. People aren't always the nicest. There's a lot of bad people in a lot of different places you'd never expect. But I think those life lessons I learned at school were invaluable in the sense that I don't know. I think I needed those lessons at those particular times, and I think I wish maybe I could have learned quicker, that I could have got out of school earlier and maybe had more years to work on this entrepreneurial thing. Being the fact that I'm 27 years old, I wish I maybe would have learned at 25-ish, maybe had a couple more years. But at the end of the day, I can't complain. And so I think my advice to this gentleman, and my advice would be to a lot of you out there that are considering dropping out of school, and if it's dropping out of school to become a day trader, you better be damn well sure you have another career. You have something else that will supplement your trading income. So many people want to drop out and just become a day trader. I'd love to drop out and become a basketball player, but at the end of the day, that's more likely than not going to happen. The thing with becoming a good trader or day trader overnight is that, again, is very unlikely to happen. You need to have another career or another job that can supplement and supply you in the trading sector, so that if you do lose $8,000, $10,000 on a trade, you have something that is still going to support you and your potential family if you have a family as well. So those are some of my thoughts on dropping out of school. I think school is very overrated. I think school is it needs to change. There's a lot of things that need to change. I think trade schools and things like that are very are kind of on the up and coming and are very great ways, so that you don't have to waste tens of thousands of dollars at a university. You can get straight to the money and start making money a lot faster. On the flip side, though, I will say college education has a lot of benefits, though. I think I learned a whole lot from my time at school. I made some relationships that will last with me for the rest of my life. I never would have gotten into sales if it wasn't for school either. Like I said, I wanted to be a doctor like from the time I was probably 12 years old, so maybe even younger. So that is my take on it. I hope that was insightful. I hope that's helpful. And if you're thinking about dropping out, just, do it. Don't do it haphazardly. Like, you need to be very serious and have thought that out. This gentleman obviously has really thought it out, and I commend him for what he's doing. But you need to have faith in yourself, and you need to really believe that at the end of the day you can succeed. Because if you don't believe that, and there's a little voice in the back of your head saying you can't do it, it's probably not the time to drop out yet. So thanks so much for tuning into Young Money Investments, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.